Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking Games with Kelly and Andrew. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kelly.
Why you get so close for that?
Because it was serious.
Your eyes got really big, and I was a little frightened that you were about to announce that you have killed the president.
I have
of
not
Sony.
done. I have not done such a thing, nor will I ever.
Kill the president? You wouldn't kill Jim Ryan?
No.
Okay, I didn't like the hesitation. Now I feel like the FBI is gonna come for us.
No. There are so many Jim Ryans in the world. Who
Are
could we
there?
possibly be talking about?
On this video games podcast.
Yeah, they can't prove anything. Everything's inconsequential. No,
If you Google
consequential. Anecdotal.
If you Google Jim Ryan, what is golden? If you Google Jim Ryan, it's him first, the president of Sony Computer Entertainment America. He's
Well,
first.
that's not who we're talking about, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's also like some financial wiki because of course it is, because he's a money hungry. Nintendo had a direct.
Right. So, who's the president of Mario Kart
I mean,
in
is she
universe?
the president?
In universe.
She's the mayor, isn't she?
That's
She
the
could be the
first step to
president.
presidency. Remember Mayor Pete? Well, he wasn't the president.
Who's Mayor Pete?
Like in real life, Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
He's not the president, nor
I
has
know.
he ever been the president.
I'm just saying he was on the path there.
I thought it was governor to president was the path.
I think could be anything except for I think it really could be anything
I was
with our
gonna
past
say.
president in mind. So I guess as long as you're like a living, breathing man.
Yeah, that's the
you
key word.
could probably
man.
be president.
Yeah.
But you know who could really be president is Pauline,
Mm-hmm.
who drives a
I would
Mario
vote.
Kart and will be driving a car in Mario Kart, whose final wave of DLC will include Pauline, Peachette. Peachette?
Do you not remember the whole Peachette debacle? That's where Bowsette came from.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
It's where Toadette eats the peach mushroom and then turns into Peachette.
Right. P. Diddy. Just kidding. That's just Diddy and Funky Kong. I just saw the word Diddy and I thought of P. Diddy.
I also wrote Diddy without the last name because it's like,
Yeah.
if you're writing a name, if you're talking about like two people that are related, like if you're talking about me and my brother Nick, it's like Andrew and Nick Bartholomew. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
Don't dox yourself. You just doxed you and your brother.
Oh, I shouldn't dox him. He's probably gonna be mad at me now.
Oh.
I'm gonna send him a link to this episode. But it looks really silly to have Diddy and Funky Kong, because I know that's their last name, but like, I feel like you have to say both, right? Like it's Diddy Kong and Funky
Diddy Kong. Yeah, Diddy Kong. Because there's just another notable Diddy in the world.
Yeah,
Probably, you could argue, more notable than Diddy Kong.
definitely. I think it's a pretty sound argument. Also, I didn't know that Diddy Kong wasn't in this game. I forgot.
I just can't believe that this game has been out for so long. And they're like, oh, by the way, there's a couple more racers. Like, I didn't think they were adding any more. But
And
That's fun, I
This is
guess.
10 years on. Literally May of 14. And it's what? It's about to be 2024.
yeah, that's pretty wild. Time doesn't feel real. I don't really understand Peachette. There, I said it. She doesn't
don't-
really make sense to
No.
me.
It's just Peach, but with a different outfit. But it's her bloodline is Toadette in origin.
Yeah. Much to
I don't-
think about.
I don't get it. If you like racing, but you think Mario Kart is too slow and for whiny babies, maybe you'll want to go a little faster. In a new F-Zero game, asterisk, it is a new F-Zero game, but it is based on the original SNES game, and it is a 99-player battle royale. So you're racing on an classic F-Zero tracks. Looks just like the SNES game, but there are 98 other racers on the track. You have to make sure you stay high enough in the rankings and not blow up. And if you come in first, you win. This game immediately released after announcement. It wasn't a surprise because it leaked, but it kind of makes sense, right? Like of all the 99 games, I think it is surprising but functional.
You're telling me that if you come in first place, you win.
In a racing game.
That's really interesting. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That is crazy.
Well, I think
Oh, go ahead. No,
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is pretty wild to me.
But that you come in first in a racing game and you win?
Yeah. No, that there's 98 other people racing with you.
Yeah. It's chaotic. It's chaotic for sure.
Like the Chaos Emeralds.
It's
Sorry.
a lot like the Chaos Emerald. There's no
Different.
Sonic news.
Different company.
And just as fast.
Different Speedy Blue.
I guess, should I do a micro review since I played it?
Sure.
It's fast.
Oh.
It's silly.
All right.
It's frenetic.
Okay. Wow. That's like a $10 word.
I was about to say frantic and frenetic at the same time, so it became frantic.
Frenetic.
It's frenetic. It's silly. And honestly, you will find this very surprising, audience. I did not win once. I did not win at all. But I had fun either way because I was kind of getting better and better and my rank was getting higher and it felt nice. And I enjoyed it. And my favorite mode was like, there's a timed Grand Prix mode. So like for certain times of the day, you can do Grand Prix, which basically means it's 5 races in a row and they knock out like a select number of racers per race. So by the end, it's getting down to like top 20 instead of 99. It's a lot more like strategic and you can be a lot more specific about what you're doing. And that was kind of fun. I do think that this game has room to grow, which makes sense. They'll probably add tracks as time goes on. I don't think I'll play a lot more of it. I think it's something I would have fun if I like had a couple people in the room and we just passed the controller around because the games are very quick. But you know what? I'm glad they made it, and my biggest hope is that it reinvigorates interest in F-Zero so that we maybe get a full-on new game in the not too distant future.
Yeah. Maybe you can Falcon Punch your way into even another new game, like Princess Peach Showtime.
Smooth. That was really smooth.
Thank you so much. So we did get a release date for this Princess Peach, previously unnamed Princess Peach game, which is kind of interesting because I feel like they just showed off like the tiniest little thing, like a month ago, and they were like, "It's a Princess Peach game, you guys," and it was like, "Oh, this is gonna come out way later." They were like, "Actually, it's coming out March 22nd next year." So
yeah,
it's not as elusive.
This trailer?
It's not as elusive as you once believed it to be. But yeah, this is called Princess Peach Showtime. It is a
transformation
game about Princess Peach where you be transforming into stuff.
She have cute outfits.
Yeah, that's really like key for a good Princess Peach game. You have to make sure that she has some really cute outfits.
They're very cute.
Yeah, it looks fun. I don't know. I guess I just think the marketing was very interesting for this game because it's like, oh, I thought we were being like teasy about it, but really like a month later they were like, actually, just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't A, show this trailer in the last direct, or B, not show that teaser in the last direct.
Yeah.
Like that seems very odd to me to do like a double reveal. And it looks good. It I don't know if it looks incredible. I think it largely depends on the powers that you get. The outfits and powers that they did show looked really fun, but I'm like, as long as there's some depth to it, I think it has very high potential. It's also beautiful. It is so pretty.
Yeah, looks good. Looks fun.
You know what else looks beautiful?
What?
The new amiibos that were shown off in the Nintendo Direct. We saw 2 of them that have already been announced, that being the Zelda and Ganondorf amiibos from Tears of the Kingdom. Both of them have been announced for November 3rd. Then we got a reveal of the Noah and Mio amiibo, those being the main characters from Xenoblade 3, and those are coming out January 19th. And then the big surprise was that Mr. No Last Name Sora, I just realized, I was like, he doesn't have a last name. Sora Mickey Mouse got an amiibo reveal, and he's coming out 2024. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world, but it does mean that Nintendo is producing official physical merchandise with the Mickey Mouse on it. So it's a little strange. I'm still thrilled, though, because I really, really wanted this Sora amiibo. I'm an amiibo diehard, and I'm just excited that I get to own little guy, little Sora guy.
I wish it was Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora.
I wish they did, because in the game he has outfits for each Kingdom Hearts game. I wish they did all of them. Like there were like 8 Sora amiibos for every alternate costume, and I'd buy all 8 at $20 each. I would spend $160 on Sora amiibos.
Right. He just looks so little in the first game. It's not my favorite Sora design. I mean, I know he was a child.
I was going to say he's a baby.
I just don't like the design of that Sora. I like Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora.
Well, maybe someday we'll get a Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora amiibo. I wouldn't put money on it, but maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Just like a while ago, we were saying maybe someday there will be a Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake. Well,
I don't think we ever said that. I don't think we said that even once.
I did in my head.
Oh, you should have said it out loud, because then people would have been like, whoa, you called it.
This was also announced at the Direct. It is a remake of the classic Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It's coming out February 16th next year, 2024. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory.
Have you played the original?
No. I mean, are you talking about the like original? Because I played it in Animal Crossing.
Mario versus Donkey Kong.
No, just Donkey Kong.
I mean, that kind of counts. I played Mario versus Donkey Kong on my my old Android phone.
Oh, wow.
Shh, don't tell the police.
They're on the way.
I emulated the Game Boy Advance game way back when.
Whoa.
And I thought it was fine. I mean, the graphics look nice in this one, but it's also very stilted because it's a Game Boy Advance game and they're copying the gameplay one for one.
Yeah, it's just sort of, they're just churning out the Mario machine at this point.
Yeah, I think this, we'll keep talking about like the other things announced, but this has proved to me like next year's, there are some exciting games, but also it's going to be a lot of filler.
Yeah, a lot of holdover until whatever is next.
Yeah, I think friend of the show Cameron's going to have a conniption because he loves Mario versus Donkey Kong, but
right.
I think it looks, I mean, Donkey Kong's fur looks amazing. There, I said it. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
See, I can be positive.
That was nice. That was a nice thing to say.
Another remake that we got from the same time period of Nintendo's history, which I would say, personally, and Kelly, tell me if I'm wrong, is a lot more exciting.
You're not wrong.
Okay, good. Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door, GameCube classic RPG, is getting fully remade. This is a ground-up visual overhaul of the original classic from the GameCube. Comes out next year. We got a pretty nice look. It is stunning. They just completely redid it, you know? All of the visuals have been overhauled and it looks absolutely incredible. I thought we were going to get a port someday, maybe, if we were lucky, but like a full remake, this was a great way to end it. And also like next year, well, okay, let's be honest, like Switch 2 is coming. This is clear. Like the fact that the big ending thing was a GameCube remake, it's like, okay, Switch 2's coming. But this is a good way to end it, you know? If we're going to get remakes and stuff to fluff out the release catalog, I'm all for it. This looks great. I loved 1,000-Year Door as a youngling, and now I get to play it as an oldling.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love, this was like my first like real Mario game.
Wow.
Yeah. This and then Super Paper Mario were really big for me when I was younger. So I'm hopeful that this means that because we got this one, maybe next we'll get Super Paper Mario.
I'm curious because I'm surprised it was 1,000-Year Door that they remade, not Paper Mario for the N64.
Yeah.
But I guess they know that that's like 1,000-Year Door is the most critically acclaimed one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it makes sense, but I don't know. I would like to see all of the Paper Mario games, well, all of the classics on Switch and Switch 2, and hopefully this is like a sign that this is what Paper Mario could be going forward. I don't know. I'm curious if Super Paper Mario could be on the horizon as well. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I remember I was really into the villain in that game, but I can't remember his name.
The guy in the big white coat.
No, he was
top
like
hat.
He was like a jester.
Oh, was his coat not white?
It was like it started with a D or something.
Was it Bowser?
No, it wasn't Bowser.
I looked up Super Paper Mario villain. It was Demento.
Demento. See?
Dementio.
Because I knew he was like a little clown. I loved him so much. I was obsessed. It was
Okay, so I'm thinking of Count Bleck, who is also a main villain from that game, and he wears a white top hat.
I thought you were thinking of Balan Wonderland.
I regularly think about Balan Wonder World.
Oh, I'm
Kelly.
sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
You should be. You should be sorry. It's Balan Wonder World. You know who's going to be mad at you?
Who?
Mr. Ryan, Jim Ryan.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Ryan.
Because he made a State of Play. He did it all by himself. He edited it. He slapped those trailers in Premiere.
Wow.
He had those PlayStation symbols roll around on the ground a bunch between trailers for some reason every single time. On the same day as the Direct, too.
Yeah,
we took a week off and like, oh my God. Like the gaming industry was like, losers.
Yeah, it got a little bit wild. So you know what they announced at the at Jim Ryan's State of Play?
Ooh, don't title it that. That's so much worse.
Here's a good title for you. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. Tales of Arise. Say it with me. Beyond the Dawn.
I kind of like it. Are we making fun of it?
I don't think I like the name Tales of Arise. I think that's what I'm discovering about myself right now.
Did you? Well, you liked the game though, right? You just didn't like the title?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that about you because I like Beyond the Dawn. I think that's a great subtitle for this kind of game.
I mean, Beyond the Dawn is just the day.
Also, I heard you say it like kind of quick, and it is Beyond the Dawn.
Beyond the Dawn is just
it's hard
the daytime.
To not say. It's hard not to say with a Southern accent.
If it was like Beyond the Dusk, then it'd be like, oh, it's nighttime. But it's like Beyond the Dawn. That's just like, let me get in my car and go to work. You know what I mean?
I also feel like Beyond Dusk would have been a cooler name. You should have named it that.
Well, Bandai Namco. Wait, who makes these games?
Bandai
Namco? You
yes.
know how to reach me. So yeah, this DLC for Tales of Arise will be coming out November 9th of this year. So pretty soon, actually. About 2 months. A little less than 2 months. For PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. So you can rest easy knowing that it's coming out on PlayStation 4. I assume it will also be coming to the PC version of this game.
Yes, everywhere. I'm just like, that game's old.
It's not. It's certainly not new.
That's a 2-year gap. I thought this was a sequel when it came up on screen.
Yeah, I think.
And then right after I found out it was DLC.
I'm trying to think of like other like modern Tales games. I don't even know if they have gotten DLC because the one before this was Tales of Berseria or whatever, right?
Yeah, that was the one that everybody was so mad at that they completely reworked the series.
Right. And then Tales of what was before that? Certainly not Vesperia, right?
No,
there was something after that.
I don't remember, but they don't do DLC as far as I know.
So this is unexpected, but I guess this game did pretty well. So they would want to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Tales of Berseria, and then before that was Tales of Zestiria.
Oh, okay.
They were doing annual up until Berseria, so that's why there was no DLC.
Annual. Those games are pretty big to be annual.
Yeah.
I loved Tales of Vesperia. That was my last favorite Tales game.
I think that's a pretty common sentiment. That's probably why they did the big remaster a couple years ago.
Yeah, true.
I'm surprised they don't remake those games. That seems like a really easy...
Aren't they remastering Symphonia?
Well, Symphonia came out and it was really, really, really bad for remaster.
Oh, okay. I guess...
Or on Switch, at least, it was horrible.
Well,
and then
that goes without saying. Just kidding. It's a joke. I'm just joking.
I'm fine. We'll have a Switch too soon. No, you're not. It's
okay.
It is pathetic for a GameCube game to get ported and be terrible, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of GameCube games, Resident Evil 4, but the remake. Why is that really funny? Because Resident Evil 4 came out on GameCube first. I know, but
I guess you're right. I just think it's funny that you said that.
Yeah, that's a bad way to put it, because Resident Evil 4 Remake got some DLC announced for it. I don't think it surprises that many longtime fans. It is Separate Ways. This is something that they added to the PlayStation 2 version of Resident Evil 4, and now they did a good old-fashioned remake of even that DLC. It is Ada Wong's story, and it tells you basically what Ada was up to during the Resident Evil 4 remake, and it is already out. Came out the 21st of September. It's only $10. It is 7 chapters, about 4 hours long, so I'd say for $10, it's pretty meaty. Before I say my impressions, I guess what is your reaction to this news, Kelly?
I think it's fine. I'm glad it was $10. I feel like that anything more than that would be absurd, because not only is it a DLC of a remake, but it's also, like you said, it's only like 4 hours. But yeah, I think it's good. I mean, a lot of people like Ada, and I am one of them. I haven't played it yet.
I was going to say, do you not?
No, I love Ada, but I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
Anyone who knows me knows that I play as Ada in Dead by Daylight, so...
Makes sense that you would like her.
So there.
I played it. Spoiler-free speed review, because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's good. It's really good. If you like Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's more of that. The only big difference is that she has a grappling hook, which allows for some fun little traversal things.
And you get to slay.
And you're slaying constantly. The whole runtime slaying demons. And you slay demons, but also you slay, like, Queen. Yes, Queen. Slay.
Yes. Slay.
Also, she has, like, a contact lens thing that lets her see footprints a couple times in the game. They never really explain that. She just has a really fancy contact lens. There's also a bit more of Mr. Wesker, who we already knew was in the plot, clearly leading into some sort of Resident Evil 5 remake, which this DLC really enforced that is coming down the pike. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was just a fun way. In my brain, it was like a fun way to revisit Resident Evil 4 Remake without having to spend another like 12 hours on a playthrough. This was a perfect little bite-sized version because it goes through a lot of the same beats, but from alternate perspectives. And it also reinforced to me just how good the remake was. Like, I kind of forgot how good it was. But, like, dang. That game slapped.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how they're going to do 5.
If it's anything like this, well.
But you know what I'm excited for when they do remake 5? Is Sheva.
Yeah, she needs a spotlight more than ever.
I'm excited because Resident Evil does this thing where they introduce characters in a game and then you never see or hear from them again.
And she didn't even die.
She didn't even die. Neither did Carlos. We have not seen hide nor hair of Carlos, much to my dismay.
Well, at least he was in like a couple spinoffs, right?
Cookie just fell out of her bed.
Oh, no.
Cookie, that was so sad.
Was she just so asleep that she plummeted out of her bed?
Are you okay, baby?
This is the content that you're here for.
Oh,
Kelly
my
being
God.
distraught. I'm so sorry. Is she okay?
She's okay.
She's just confused.
Sad. Look at her.
She just fell out of... Oh, the bed is all the way on the floor, audience.
Yeah, she literally
like the bed fell, not her.
It's...
How'd she even do that?
She was just so deep in her slumber, and she was leaning, and I guess she just didn't realize how far she was leaning off the thing. My poor baby. This is so sad. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I'm depressed.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I guess all right. So thanks for everybody for listening. This has been Talking Games with Kelly and Andrew. I'm Andrew.
You know who also falls a lot?
This is the most complicated segue ever.
Remember that game? There was a trailer for it where you're like a guy in his jammies, and it's kind of like what was that game?
Quap.
It was like yeah. Guap.
Quap?
Quap. It's
yeah,
kind of like Quap.
It's made by the Quap guy.
The Quapper.
I wouldn't call it that, but...
Right. It's called Baby Steps. And there was a new trailer at the State of Play. And we got a Summer 2024 card at the end. So this game is coming next summer. I only have so much to say because I'm still very distraught over my sweet baby cat falling.
Baby Steps.
That was so sad.
I don't think we were ready for that. Like, we were about to talk about something falling over, a character in a video game, and Cookie said, "No, I'm more important." Do you want to take a breather? Do you want me to lighten up the mood?
Yeah, let's go ahead and lighten up the mood.
Okay. What if Sephiroth killed your whole family?
Well, I don't think that would make me feel good.
Okay, well, good news. He's fictional. But what's not fictional is the new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. During that state of play, we closed out with an incredibly, just good old trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And to my utter shock, a release date of February 29th. This trailer showed off tons of new gameplay stuff, new characters. We saw Kate Sith in action. We saw a bunch of beautiful stuff from Junon, lots of different cool areas from the game. We saw a car. We saw chocobos that you could ride. We saw Cloud on a Segway. We saw Vincent. We saw Red 13 riding a chocobo like a person for some reason, even though he's a dog. We saw a couple more summons. We saw the fact that you can play as Sephiroth. A wolf thing.
Isn't he like a cat?
Red 13 is definitely like a wolf.
He's like a saber-toothed tiger.
Breed. Red 13 is a red lion or wolf-like beast. That is not helpful.
Lion
that
or
is,
wolf.
That is exactly what we're trying to argue about. I think he's supposed to be like a blend of lion and wolf.
Right.
I think we both win.
Right.
Instead of saying which of us lost, let's say we both win.
Okay, I like that.
Anyway, we saw so much. We saw incredible story stuff. We saw I just don't know. We saw a Sephiroth statue that's 17 inches tall and costs hundreds of dollars.
Perhaps you could treat yourself to 17 inches of Sephiroth.
Just to be clear, that's Kelly clapping for herself, not the other way around. I need it to be known that I am not doing that.
Right.
I didn't do it. I didn't clap for her. I'm sad that she did that, just to be clear.
Right. I'm glad we saw Vincent. I've been waiting to see his beautiful face. Well, half of his beautiful face.
Yeah, the back of his head. We did get confirmation he will not be playable. He's going to function similarly to Red 13 in the last game. He's not going to be playable, but he will be there. Also, the cover includes Cloud, of course, Sephiroth, of course, and Zack. And Zack is in this trailer. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm so curious about the story and also the gameplay. I'm not trying to get like feisty here. The gameplay looks otherworldly. Like, it looks so good. It looks so incredible. And listen, I'm not going to try to like attack. Okay, I get that you're excited, young man. Oh. Okay, I apologize for the guest star that we're going to have for the next few minutes while he gets his meows out. He really likes Final Fantasy VII. He's named after a character not from Final Fantasy VII, though. Anyway, it just looks incredible. Kelly, Cloud can ride a Segway.
I know it.
This is now my most anticipated video game, and I'm like hype, and I haven't been hype for a video game, and I feel like a long time.
Cloud now shares some characteristics with Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Cloud does share statistics with statistics. What word am I trying to say?
Characteristics. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Cloud now does share characteristics with Paul Blart Mall Cop that he didn't before, because before all he had was like the raw sex appeal and the beautiful face, but now he also has the Segway riding.
Exactly. And speaking of Segways, here's one.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Did you still have thoughts that you wanted to share?
Yeah, hang on. Just let me get one. Ready?
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Woo!
Okay.
How loud was that? Because I point the microphone like really far away.
It wasn't like too bad. Like it sounded like loud, but it wasn't like, oh, my ears. Ven
was right outside the room and I did not know he was still there. He did not like that I yelled.
Well, you should apologize to him.
Sorry.
Wow.
Well, mine didn't fall out of bed, so. Oh. Well, correction. Mine's bed didn't fall from wherever it was.
I don't want to talk about it. It's making me sad to think about it again. She's just so like precious. She's just a baby, so it's like when bad things happen to her, it's like I want to burn the world down. So I don't know if you know this, Andrew.
What?
But I had some files leaked to me personally. Just kidding. There were some big document leaks from Microsoft. I don't know, last Tuesday. See? Andrew was right. You take a week off and all of a sudden everything falls apart. These were... I guess they were supposed to be in like a presentation.
Yeah,
back
it was
in 2020.
It was emails. A bunch of emails.
Oh, it's always the emails.
It's always the emails. Show us Phil's emails.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Sorry.
Why?
I don't know. Why not? So these had some interesting quote unquote leaks in them, including an Oblivion remaster that was supposed to happen for the fiscal year of 2022. Fiscal years, I believe, are a little bit different than actual years because business is stupid and capitalism sucks and doesn't make any sense. So this was slated originally for that fiscal year. Doom Year Zero and a Doom DLC were for the fiscal year of 2023.
Can we pause? What is the fiscal year of 2023? It's October of this year till October of next year. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just so unclear.
I know, it's confusing. That's why I just wish they would say the years. And more DLC in 2024, which would technically be like 2024 into 2025. Also included a Fallout 3 remaster for the fiscal year of 2024, a Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, and Dishonored 3. There were a few more things, including an Indiana Jones game, which was
Bethesda
rumored
made
for a while. Something called Project Kestrel, an expansion for that. Something called Project Platinum, and a licensed IP game, to which we have no idea what that even means.
Wow.
So kind of interesting. We've already really pushed past. I mean, these documents are old. They're from 2020, so they say on them that Starfield was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah. Big grain of salt. Well, also, what's it called? What's the new game? I'm not kidding right now. The other day I was texting friend of the show Cameron about this game and I kept calling it Forspoken. But it's the new game from Obsidian.
Oh, Avowed?
Avowed. Why do I want to call it Forspoken so bad?
Because it's purple.
It's purple.
It's
what?
Purple. Forspoken was purple.
Okay. No, it's kind of like, it was like black and gold, right?
Look it up. Read it and weep, sucker.
I feel like you're saying that like you're looking at it, but I'm about to be looking at it.
Are you talking about Forspoken or Avowed?
Oh, Forspoken has a purple background, yeah.
That's right, Andrew. Like I said,
Avowed
read
purple?
it and weep.
Is Avowed
I think it's
purple?
like purple and green.
Avowed doesn't really have anything. It just has a logo.
There was a lot of purple in the trailer.
Yeah, it was very colorful. Anyway, irrelevant. That I was just saying Avowed is not on this release schedule. So like it's not 100% accurate, and I would not say that all of these games being listed for fiscal 24 means you should expect them in the next 12 months. That seems kind of crazy. Also, that would be quite a freaking loadout of games if it happened in the next, because that starts in like a week. Yeah,
I think too, something to keep in mind that this was before. I mean, this was literally 2020. This was before Microsoft purchased Bethesda.
Oh, before it was final.
Yeah. So who really knows? Now, I do think some on here are a little bit more likely. I do think the remasters, Oblivion and Fallout 3, are entirely possible. Just because remasters, as we know, aren't necessarily... They're a good way to make money, especially on those like old nostalgia bait games. Like Oblivion is a huge nostalgia bait game, and the truth about Oblivion and Fallout 3 to that extent, they just run terribly on any modern machine.
Yeah.
You can
and
barely
also,
play Fallout 3 without like a stabilizing mod, which is crazy. So
they also remastered Skyrim, and we've seen what that was like. Their remaster definition is pretty loose.
yeah.
I would say if it had a better frame rate and resolution, they'd be like, remaster done, released.
Yeah. So, but the ones I'm not so sure about, anything Doom related, Ghostwire Tokyo, the sequel, and Dishonored, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Doom is the only one where I'm like, yeah, because Doom Eternal did well. Ghostwire Tokyo, I feel like they might have been like excited for that one, and then it kind of disappointed with its sales and reception.
Yeah.
But maybe it sold better than I knew. And Dishonored 3, I don't know. I mean, Deathloop was really successful, but also, what's it called?
Arcane.
The vampire game.
Redfall.
Wow. Redfall. I'm not just breaking today, I promise. But yeah, I don't know if Arcane's getting the same funding that they got before, so I feel like Dishonored 3 would probably be a little bit more in trouble.
I think Dishonored 3 would be really cool because I think that's a great series, and I think it's a good IP. But yeah, I don't know how Arcane is. They're kind of flopping right now, so.
Yeah. Well, something that could help Microsoft recover from the flop would be buying Nintendo, which this is not a bit. Microsoft, in these leaked emails, Phil Spencer admitted, he said that he would, as a career-defining move, a move to define his career, he would want to buy Nintendo. He said that, unfortunately, they are sitting on a big pile of cash. I think Kelly is shocked about this.
Sorry, I did not mean to do that into the mic. Sorry.
I just think, okay, boil it down. This is just Xbox being the child of Microsoft, who has like a gadillion billion dollars, and feeling like they can kind of do whatever they want with that. I do think that trying to buy Nintendo is extremely arrogant and also would be very, very bad for the industry. Like, Phil is like, oh, Nintendo just needs to see that their future exists off their own hardware. He said this in 2020. I don't know if you know this. The Switch did really well in 2020. Like, the best of any game console of that year. Philip. I often like Phil. I think he is usually in touch with the tastes of game players. But he's also a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and sometimes he reminds me of that.
Yeah.
When he says he wants to buy Nintendo.
I think it's funny, and if you contextualize it in 2020, like, yeah, I guess he would say something like this. But it's like, oh, we can buy this, this, and that, and we get in trouble with the FTC and all these, like, regulatory committees. Can you imagine?
This
we also want to buy
bigger.
Nintendo, by the way. Okay. Sure, man. If you think that will be easier to do than Activision.
Well, I'm doing a translation. 8.08 trillion yen in dollars. So they're worth, quote unquote, less than Activision. Let's see, $55 billion.
I'm just saying, I don't think you could realistically acquire Activision and Nintendo.
Yeah, because Activision is worth about $20 billion more. But there's two things to consider. One, no matter how successful Activision is because of Call of Duty, they don't have Nintendo's brand. And two, Nintendo's really good at hardware, like especially these days with the Switch. And it seems pretty likely that as long as Nintendo doesn't mess around, Switch 2 is going to be successful. I feel like buying one of the other hardware makers, it's going to be a lot harder to sell that to people in trade commissions, especially internationally, because it's not just a local thing.
Yeah.
Local. Like it's the neighborhood. Activision and Blizzard and Microsoft are all just neighbors in the same neighborhood.
They are. They eat dinner together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. You know who's not for sale and who said so very loudly?
I love the news.
Capcom. They said, listen, y'all, we're not interested in buying anything and we don't want to be bought. We're just staying in our own lane, moisturized, comfortable, refreshed. It's like, okay, Capcom, whatever you say, girl, whatever you say, whatever feels right for you.
I just love that it was unprompted.
I know, it's like nobody really asked and nobody is asking. I mean, realistically, who would buy Capcom? Sony?
I mean, I think it was in response to Microsoft's emails because
From 2020?
because there's so much kerfuffle right now about it.
It's like we didn't need to be saying these things.
No.
But good for you, Capcom. I think it's nice to like make yourself known, you know?
Yeah.
Speak your truth.
I should have bought Capcom stock in 2014. It was $2 and now it's $18.
Yeah.
What an underdog.
Yeah. So true.
Anyway, I just think it's silly that Capcom felt the need to be like, we're not for sale. And it's like, who asked?
Nobody
and
asked.
they're like, we just need you to know, just in case you were curious.
Like I said, I like their energy. Gotta let the people know.
They're doing their best.
Yeah.
You know who's not doing their best? Unity. Unity, the video game engine. I'll do a short version of this story because a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks with Unity. So initially, they announced that there was going to be a change in how they monetized. Unity is famously one of the most developer-friendly engines that you could get. They just took a cut off the top, essentially, and then it didn't matter if you didn't make a certain amount of money. So if you made like super small projects, it was free. But they announced that they were actually going to start charging a per install fee to developers. So that includes people who got their game on Game Pass, where famously the developers do not get a per download pay. They just get a lump sum from Microsoft. If people download it on there or PlayStation Plus's service, the developer had to pay a fee on that, as well as people who downloaded it multiple times. So like, let's just say Kelly, our friend Kelly, she's like, okay, I want to play Cult of the Lamb. And she deletes it because there's not enough room on our computer. And then 2 weeks later, she changes her mind and she re-downloads it. And she does that 4 times because, we know Kelly, terrible at hard drive management.
Well, that's actually true.
So she keeps deleting and re-downloading Cult of the Lamb. So let's say she does it 20 times because, we know Kelly. She's crazy, guys. Kelly's crazy.
I need to be locked up.
Cult of the Lamb gets charged 20 times for Kelly's 20 downloads after she bought it once. People on the internet were not happy. The developer, Slay the Spire, announced immediately that they were throwing away 2 years of work on their brand new game so that they could pivot to a new engine. The previously mentioned Cult of the Lamb developer announced that on January 1st, presuming that this move did happen, they were going to pull the game from storefronts, meaning you couldn't get Cult of the Lamb anymore after January 1st. Lots of devs were saying things like that. I would recommend looking into it. It was absolutely insane. So Unity decided to backstep. They kind of did a half step and everybody was still angry. And now, as of very recently, a couple days ago, they said, all right, these changes are going to be a lot more mild. We are not going to charge you for Game Pass. We are not going to charge you for PlayStation Plus. We are not going to charge you for multiple installs. And it will just be a lot smaller of a fee, and they'll keep much higher thresholds than they were going to reduce them to. So like people who are making not very much money don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. And also big thing is that these changes will not be retroactive. So to games like Cult of the Lamb, will not be affected by any of these changes because those games already came out. It's games that come out after the changes that are going to have to deal with this. I think the big sentiment in the community is, yeah, that's a good change, and that is way better, but a lot of people feel really insecure with their engine of choice because who's to say that they don't change their mind again in the future? You know? This company that clearly is trying to make way more money than they were previously, who's to say that they're not going to do something crazy in a year from now or in 2 years from now? And do you really want to start developing a game on an engine that'll take you 5 years to make? If in 4 years, they might make it so that your game is not sustainable to release and you're not going to be able to make money after you spent 4 years of work on it.
Yeah. It really boggles my mind when companies make these just absolutely terrible decisions. It's like a company can get so big and still the people in charge can be so hard-headed and stupid that they ignore every single person on their team telling them that this is a bad idea because they're like, I don't care. I think this will make more money for us. I think it's also sort of speaks to like, what else are they going to use? You
Exactly.
know? And it's like there are other engines, but obviously Unity is very popular. So I guess it's just the idea that like, what else are they going to do? They need us. But yeah, this whole saga has been very absurd. Just the thought is just like that my minuscule decision, my poor hard drive management skills would be costing money. Like, I just need you to be serious. I need you to be a serious person. They are not serious people.
No, it's ridiculous. And I'm glad they're backstepping, but I'm also nervous for developers for the future.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they're backstepping now, but it's like you said, it's like you could be 2 years into the development of a game and then all of a sudden they decide, oh, actually, we're going to do that again. Or we're going to do something even dumber. It's like, it's hard to put faith in that. It's why these companies these days like try and make their own engines.
Yeah.
But you can't do that if you're an indie game company. You can't do that if you're a small publisher or a small developer. So
just trying to make money. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. Well, I don't have any good news.
I was going to say, we have a rough ending. The rest of the show is bad news. Sorry, everybody.
The EA Originals game, Immortals of Avium. Has this game come out yet?
Yeah, it was not well received.
That's tough. That's tough, you guys. I didn't even know it came out yet.
Yeah.
The studio, it was the game was made by Ascendant Studios. And unfortunately, they have laid off almost half of their staff. That's around 40 people. The game, like we said, obviously was not received well. Some of us didn't even know it came out yet.
Some of us being Kelly, just for clarity. Just for posterity's sake. The someone?
I guess
Wes
my
Kelly.
thought was, oh, I'm reading the article. It peaked at 800 Steam players.
Wait,
at launch.
Really?
Yeah.
Peaked?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. Are you
Yeah.
serious? I didn't realize it was that dire.
Yeah. Not great.
That's what?
Well, here's the tea on that. According to The Verge, I'm just reading from the article now, less than 9% of PCs may have qualified to run this game.
Do you want to know how many people are playing right now?
Like 10?
23.
Yeah, that's tough.
This game was not cheap. Like, if you look at the trailers, it was not cheap to make.
And I think that's probably the issue. They had a bunch of, like, actors in it.
23? 751 all-time peak? Obviously came out on consoles, and maybe it's doing better there. But that's really, really, really bad. Oh my, I did not know how dire this was. And just to be clear, I'm not mad at the developers. They don't deserve this treatment. It's EA's fault. But oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's just not good. I don't really know. Obviously, this is not like a. I just think this was very poorly mismanaged by EA. I'm sure. But it's also like, I don't know.
It's also, I didn't realize it got announced in April of 2023 and released in July.
Yeah,
It was so, like, obviously quick turnarounds are fun, but like, this game needed more introduction. And also, like, the way it was marketed made it feel generic, even though it looked like there was a lot of interesting stuff going on. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I don't know, man.
That's
not great.
Rough. I did not know how bad that was. I thought this was just a sad story. I didn't realize how incredibly how incredible the poor decision making at EA was here.
Yeah. But like you were saying, it was it seems like it was a very expensive game.
Yeah.
They obviously were not able to recoup they were not able to make a profit. So
yeah,
that's really unfortunate for all those people that got laid off. That is like insane to me. Such an unstable industry. I mean, I think a lot of industries, not just video games right now, are going through a lot of shakeups as we sort of adjust to a not so COVID world. But this just the layoffs in the gaming industry it's very alarming. It's like if you're not performing, your job is at risk. And it's like you can only do so much as one single person. And that's just that single person's livelihood is now at stake, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's just the nature of the nation that we live in.
Yeah. We're in a pretty the depth continues because Immortals of Avium Studio and EA are not the only one in dire straits. Square Enix has lost nearly $2 billion in value since Final Fantasy XVI launched in June. This is apparently due to underperformance of that game, as well as resounding negativity caused by games like Marvel's Avengers, Babylon's Fall, and Forspoken. It's funny because we talked about Square Enix earlier in the show, and I was talking about how cool Final Fantasy VII Rebirth looked. And like I loved Octopath Traveler 2 earlier this year, and like I kind of liked Final Fantasy 16 well enough, but like that's a 30% drop compared to the same time last year. That's really, I don't know. I'm worried. I don't feel like Square Enix is in the best spot. I'm hoping that, you know, they cut off their American arm and sold it off to Embracer, who we know is so good at, you know, video games, as we've talked about a lot lately. But I just hope that this doesn't spell trouble for the devs at Square Enix, and more importantly, or I was going to say for the IP and more importantly for the devs. I want to make it clear that I think human livelihood is more important than Final Fantasy as an IP. But the IP is still valuable, and I hope that it's well treated. And I hope that this isn't a sign of, you know, a horrible future, and instead just kind of a blip as they figure out what the next generation means for them. And also maybe that exclusivity is bad for them.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think people kind of soured on Final Fantasy 16 quite a bit. I think the game felt like it was very well received when it first came out, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah,
but
that's how I felt.
People had already bought it, so I guess I just feel like they are banking a lot on the Final Fantasy name. I mean, when you hear the word, like when you hear Square Enix, you probably don't think like, I don't know, what else do they make?
Kingdom Hearts.
Well,
Foam Stars.
Yeah. When you hear Square Enix, you don't think Foam Stars.
Well I do.
Now. But you think Final Fantasy, so I don't know. I think it's just they're in a really they're in a witty I can't speak. They're in a really tricky position right now because they've got, obviously 16 just came out, not doing as good as they expected. I mean, they had a lot of other flops before. I mean, not that 16 was a flop at all, but they had flops before 16. And then 16 is kind of taking the brunt of it in the media.
Yeah, I mean, it needed to be, let's see. Apparently, Final Fantasy 16 may have sold as low as 3 million copies, which is one of those things where it's like, that's a lot of games, but Square Enix has made a habit of setting the standards way too high.
Yeah.
Like, remember when they remade the Tomb Raider, when they did that Tomb Raider game? Let's see what the sales were. It was crazy, these numbers. Yeah, 3.4 million copies of Tomb Raider sold, and they said it was a huge disappointment. And it's like, guys, maybe you shouldn't have set such insane standards.
Yeah. Was that like the 2013 Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
I love
that. Was
that
10
game.
years ago. Oh my God, that was 10 years ago.
That was a great game.
And I'm sure that game 10 years ago cost way less to make than Final Fantasy 16 did this year. And
yeah.
So it makes sense that it's such a big hit for them.
So I don't know, maybe they just hone in on Final Fantasy from here on out with 7 and, 7 Remake.
Or just parse back budgets. Video games don't need to be as expensive as 16 was.
Yeah. I feel like it's set a precedent now where when people are going to see Final Fantasy 17, they're going to be expecting more. And it's also like, if you think about it realistically, 13 came out and it was a single player story-based Final Fantasy. And 14, when they announced it, they were like, oh yeah, it's an MMO. People were furious because it was an MMO. So it's like, if they tried to do something different, who knows what the reception would be. And I'm not saying this is like, that's not what I would want. I think it would be fine if they parsed down the budget, I would be fine with that. But gamers, I don't think would let them. And I don't think investors would either, or shareholders. I think there's probably a lot of expectant eyes for whatever the next mainline Final Fantasy game is going to be. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they started remaking other Final Fantasies too. Maybe not to the extent of 7, but I wouldn't be altogether shocked if maybe eventually we got 8, and maybe 9, and maybe definitely 10. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I think you get to a point with remakes where it's like we don't really need to remake these games anymore. Like I think probably around 12, they wouldn't need to remake any Final Fantasies anymore. And I'm not saying this as if it's a light thing. Final Fantasy VII has taken I don't know how many years it'll be by the time they're done with it from when it came out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Square Enix. With Squeenix, as some people call it.
Squeenix. I do.
I don't. So take it back.
Okay.
Hey, remember Callisto Protocol?
Hard late, but yeah.
Remember how it was made, by a lot of people, but it was also
one guy.
It was just made by one fellow.
Yeah, just Josh Duhamel.
Yeah. CEO of the studio that made it, Glenn Schofield.
Yeah. He made Dead Space.
He was a Dead Space co-creator. He said he's out. He said, I'm leaving. See you later. Interestingly enough, the studio's chief operating officer and their chief financial officer are also leaving. All 3 of these departures are voluntary. They were not fired. They're leaving.
It's
well,
funny.
we all know the Callisto Protocol flopped.
Yeah. And wasn't good.
And wasn't good. So I don't really know what is going to happen with Striking Distance Studios, which is let me just be clear. This is a very stupid name for a studio.
I mean, they're done for. They're either going to shut down or parse back so hard to make tiny mobile games or licensed stuff.
Well, they belong to a big Korean publisher. So I don't know that might be the path. That might be the path that they're taking. I'm like Daffy Duck over here. That might be the path that they're taking. I don't really know. I don't know what Glenn Schofield is going to do next. Is he going to make another Dead Space game and call it something else? and have it flop. I don't know.
It's just
sad.
not. It doesn't look good for him considering Dead Space remake came out right after and was like astronomically better received.
Yeah. I think space horror is really still quite untapped in the video game arena. And I think that if he had a vision, he should maybe bring it to one of the big guys. But he just probably doesn't have that kind of pull. I don't think anybody really has that kind of pull except for like Kojima.
Mm-hmm. Same thought.
And even he is like,
his pull is.
It's not that Death Stranding flopped. It's just like it was so abstract that it was maybe not. I don't know. I'm not saying that it sullied his reputation or anything. I'm just saying that, like, I can't imagine.
It altered it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there was an expectation of that game, and it really wasn't what people thought it was going to be. So maybe now people aren't as all in with Kojima.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of off topic, but.
Well, speaking of figureheads leaving studios, I think this might be even more surprising. Hideki Kamiya, who you might know as the co-founder and current vice president of Platinum Games, as well as the creator of Bayonetta and Wonderful 101, among many other projects, works on Devil May Cry, Resident Evil back in the day, Okami, Beautiful Joe, crazy story developer. Like I said, he is currently the vice president, but as of October 12th, he's going to be stepping away from Platinum Games. I'm not necessarily sad, because it probably is just like a creative clash and he wants to go do his own thing. But I was shocked to hear this because, like, him and Platinum Games in my brain are just so linked, you know? Like, he is the founder of Platinum Games, co-founder, but still, Bayonetta was, you know, his creation in so many ways. And even though he didn't create Bayonetta 3, he was just like an advisor. He still clearly had his hands on it. It's just odd to me. And he did come forward and say that he's going to keep making things the same way he likes to make things. But it's just odd to me. He was talking not that long ago about how he wants to make a Bayonetta 4 and a Bayonetta 5. So, like, I don't think he saw this coming. At least not when he said those things. I guess I was just taken aback by this news. Not in a horrible way, just in like that was not on my bingo card kind of way.
Yeah, it's kind of random. It's like, and the statement itself is very supportive of him, so it's like, it's not like he did anything bad as far as we know. It's just random. It's like, I don't know, maybe he wants to start his own thing, but
this is
to be honest, I was gonna say, to be honest, Platinum kind of was his own thing, so I don't really know what he could garner better on his own, or if maybe he's going somewhere. I don't really know. I feel like if he was going somewhere, we probably would have heard about it, but
yeah, if he had like something else in the works, you know. I just am also confused because, like, there's this game called Project GG, which was like supposed to be a giant robot game, and it was Kamiya's like child. Like, it was his game he was absolutely thrilled for, and it was going to be his passion project, and that started in 2020. So, like, what happened to that? Was that game? I mean, I would assume that game's kaput. There's no way that that's still coming out if he's leaving, right? But
yeah,
and I mean, we never saw anything. We just got a teaser. But it's just, the whole situation's odd, and he's just such like a character of the video game industry. I don't know. And it's a year after Bayonetta 3 came out, so it's like, that's clearly not an influencing factor.
Yeah,
I really don't know. We're both saying useless things because we're both saying we don't know.
We're befuddled.
We're befuddled. Kelly.
Yes?
Could you hear my stomach screaming?
No.
Dang. Well, maybe the audience can hear it on mic. I hope. Last weekend, this past 2 days ago, I went to Cleveland.
Yes.
The country.
Oh.
And I went to the airport thing, the airport convention center. That's what it's called.
The IX indoor.
No, the airport thing amusement park.
Oh, okay. That's what it's called. You're right.
Yeah. At the IX Center in Cleveland, there was a video game convention called Cleveland Gaming Classic this weekend. I went to it. I don't really have a lot to say. I just thought the audience would like to know because they like video games and I like video games. It was just really cool. So I see a lot of vendors there. I played a couple indie games that I thought were really cool. I just like to be in that kind of environment. It was very exhausting because I'm not used to like gigantic spaces full of many thousands of people. Tim Misny was there.
Wait,
I didn't.
in the flesh?
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Oh my God. For
I
those
left.
of you for listeners who are not in the Cleveland area, do you know who like Saul Goodman is, like from Breaking Bad, from Better Call Saul? Every city has their own sort of Saul. Tim Misny is ours. Now, I'm not saying that he's up to no good, but he's a very, very famous lawyer in this city, in the city of Cleveland.
He hosted a Tim Misny eyebrow contest.
Oh, wow.
I left before that.
Was he playing a video game?
No.
Okay.
He had nothing to do with the video games. He was
He
just there.
probably goes to every convention at the IX Center. He's probably going to be at the Cat Expo in 2 weeks.
I'll go see him there.
I will definitely be going to the Cat Expo. I'll
you
be there with
actually?
my Zyrtec in hand. No, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that.
I was going to say, it looked cute to me, but then I'm like, that's a lot of cats in one space.
That's a lot of cats in a big enclosed space.
Yeah. I didn't buy much. I bought a couple amiibos because there were Animal Crossing amiibos for $3, and I was like, yeah, I'll get Rossetti, Blathers, and
Celeste?
Rover. Sorry,
Oh.
I was looking at my amiibo shelf trying to remember what I got.
Okay.
Because I already had KK and Rossetti. Wait, did I say
Wow.
Rossetti twice?
Yeah, you did.
I had KK and Tom Nook, sorry. But now I have 5 of them. And then I also got a Kazuya amiibo from Smash because they had it for a little bit below retail. And I was just excited to see one. Even though that's not a hard amiibo to get. You can get it on the internet. But I just saw it in person, and that's how it works. But there was a lot of really cool merchandise. There was so much beautiful art. I guess I just don't really need a lot of things for my house, so I wasn't looking to buy a lot. And to be honest, my days of physical collection of older video games has kind of come to a close. I ain't got time to play video games, and I ain't got a ton of space in my house, so it's like I don't really have a ton of drive to buy old games, more so new ones that I see on sale. But if next year you think that that's something you're interested in, I really, really did like it. It was well worth the $20 to get into the place, even though they charged another $10 to park. And I'm like, dude, that is half the cost of the ticket. That's a little extreme. But what do I know? But if you're in the Cleveland area, I highly recommend going next year. I know it just happened, so you have to wait a whole year. Sorry about that. Oops.
Maybe we could get a sponsorship next year. Or
I-
a booth.
We should get a booth. That's probably expensive.
We'll see. We'll scope out the scene.
I'm going to scope it out right now while you tell people about our plans for the next few weeks.
Yes. So, for those who don't know, I'm getting married in October.
You what?
Yeah, this is a pretty big life event, as you can imagine. So time is sort of running a little bit short for me, and I'm getting a little bit pressed. So we are going to take a little hiatus for the first 3 weeks of October. So this will be the last episode for a little while. So we will be returning on October 24th for our next episode, barring anything crazy happening in the video game world. Like if they announce anything crazy, Switch 2, or anything wild. I mean, we'll use our best judgment, but as far as right now, that's kind of the plan. So we'll be back on the 24th of October for our regularly scheduled programming. We'll be talking about Spider-Man, which comes out, and the new Mario game, Mario Wonder, right?
Wowie zowie.
Mario
Wahoo.
Ballin' Wonderland.
World. Wonder
Sorry.
World,
I
Kelly.
did it again. So we appreciate your patience during this time. I appreciate you all sticking with us. I'm not going to apologize because I'm not feeling sorry, because I'm very excited. But I will just reiterate that, we'll miss you guys. And I'll miss talking to Andrew for 3 weeks.
I'll
still talk to him.
I was going to say, I'll see you in a couple days and I'll be at your wedding.
But just not every Monday for the next 3 Mondays.
Yeah. I will see you almost exactly as much as I would have, though, just to be clear.
That's true.
And it'll be in person.
We'll have to make it so that you actually can see me as much. So like I said, if anything really exciting or wild happens, we can do like a little emergency episode or something, but I kind of don't foresee that. And I'm actually thinking I'm manifesting it because both me and Andrew have agreed that we don't think anything wild is going to happen. So now something wild will probably happen.
Kelly, it doesn't matter how much you say it, they're not going to announce Dragon Age in the next 3 weeks.
I know. But I will also say that when we come back on the 24th, I have big plans. I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit pressed for time at this moment because my wedding's in less than a month. But I will be playing the new Cyberpunk expansion, and I will be giving a full review on it when we come back on the 24th. So
do you think Keanu Reeves is in it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think Ada Wong is in it?
No, I don't. I wish she was. I wish she was in every video game I played, but she's really only in like 2. So
you play Mario Wonder, and Ada Wong pops up.
But it's like her like model. It's not like Mario-fied at all.
Yeah, and she like walks in 3D space even though it's 2-dimensional.
Yeah.
She just like shoots Mario.
I would really like that, actually.
We can make that happen. Also, we might be at the Cleveland Gaming Convention next year. Cleveland Gaming Classic. It's not that expensive to host.
Wow.
To have a booth, so.
Well.
We have a year to think about it.
We do. And we have a year to raise funds. Just saying, if anybody wants to, see us in person, they can always pitch in. Just kidding.
I was going to say, it's also not very expensive, so it'd be kind of rude to take funds from people for that.
I know. I'll use my wedding money. Just kidding. Thanks, you guys, so much for listening.
Talk to you in a few weeks, everybody.
I hope you have a really great end of September and beginning of October, and I hope you're well prepped for spooky season because after we come back, we are going to have a Halloween episode.
Oh, heck, I forgot.
Oh, heck, and guess what? That episode's going to come out on Halloween.
Wait, is Halloween on a Tuesday this week?
Yeah, so you better this week. So you better be ready because we're going to get spooky.
Crap, we have to plan.
Yeah, we do.
I forgot about that.
You better play the scariest game that you can think of. Balan Wonderland.
We could watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh my gosh, so true.
That's going to be our Halloween special. I'm not going to promise that, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much. See you in a couple weeks. Bye.